Yo, how's it going everybody? It's me, Arctic. Today's video we're going to be talking about the actual new post that is basically going around the Genshin Impact's leaks Discord, and this is basically talking about some of the upcoming stuff, basically including Yae, basically including some more information as well. It was posted on 4chan, and some of the phrasing does seem to be a little bit weird, so take everything with a grain of salt. They said the NGA thread is currently very highly upvoted, so this definitely seems to be a little bit more credible. The uncle that leaked this information is actually streamed on Bilibili before, and basically talking about it, believe it or not. Track record is leaking 2.4 Abyss, and also Shenhe weapon. So having Shenhe's weapon on his track record is actually a pretty big thing. It only seems to be pretty credible. There's going to be a new Electro artifact set coming, but it's not for Yae specifically, so that could potentially be some sort of like sub DPS type of actual artifact set, I would say. The main artifact set we actually have is like a 2-piece Electro bonus, and then the 4-piece like basically decreases your cooldowns and whatnot. It's kind of an alright set, I would say. Like Thunder Fury is a pretty okay set, but a new Electro artifact set, this might actually be something interesting, I would say. I would honestly consider like Emblem an Electro kind of focused artifact set already, just because it's like Raiden's artifact set. But since it's not going to be for Yae, I'm really excited to see exactly what it's actually going to be. It also means that the Glacier and Snowfield set that's been rumored for a long time and been in the database for forever might actually be added to the game then. Point 2, Yae's voice lines sound very sly. That definitely fits very well with her character right there. 2.4 and 2.5 are centered around Enkanomiya, which is basically what we already kind of knew, because Enkanomiya is going to have 2 phases to its actual release. One being the main islands, and then the second being like the kind of bordering islands is what it seems to be. 2.6 has a new map that is unrelated to Enkanomiya, so that might be Chasm. It might actually be Chasm. It might be another Inazuma Island, something like that. We don't really know any information beyond that. Point 4, Dendro won't have a huge impact on the meta, but it will just be a new way to play the game. So basically factoring in new mechanics. Like, I know probably what's going to be a thing is like, oh, grouping enemies or like trapping enemies, something like that. Because Dendro, you can make like Dendro constructs potentially. With what we already have in game with like Dendro mages and the actual like doggos from the doggo event, they are actually able to trap characters and whatnot. In terms of the reactions, I'm betting that it's going to be mostly like in terms of like, oh, burn is actually going to be something viable in the game for DPS, something like that. Like, it'll have some sort of like buffing effect probably for the other elements, basically just, or like creating like new mechanics or something. Person, interestingly enough, has never heard of the Raiden Weekly Boss, which was actually kind of a rumor going around before that like Raiden was going to be a new weekly boss and giving the boss mats for like Yae and Ayato, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Yae doesn't lack ER, therefore doesn't necessarily need Raiden to function well, but like Raiden and Yae probably will end up still being a pretty okay combo, but it definitely seems like it's going to be more of like a sustained DPS that doesn't actually need like Raiden to actually be in her team. But based on the NGA, is speculating her best in slot is going to be Shimenawa. So Shimenawa 4-piece is probably going to be really cracked on her, I would say. Point 7, Yae won't have a new artifact set designed for her. Her best in slot will be an existing set. So that potentially could be 4-piece, like 2-piece at least, of the Emblem of Severed Fate, and then maybe 2-piece Thunder Fury, or maybe 4-piece Thunder Fury is your best set, maybe 2-piece Thunder Fury, 2-piece actual like Glad or Shimenawa, but 4-piece Shimenawa is probably going to be her best set, just considering that Yae is going to be an on-field DPS, which is what point 8 says right here. Point 9, Yae's mechanics are finalized, but her numbers are not, so yeah, that's what the beta is going to end up being for, once the 2.5 beta actually drops here in a few days, actually. Like, the 2.5 beta isn't dropping with 2.4, it's actually dropping way sooner, so Yae leaks incoming, I would say. Point 10, Yae uses Signora mats. Yeah, that basically debunks that, like, there's going to be a Raiden boss. Point 11, Yae works decently well with Beidou, so that's going to be actually pretty nice as a fact, because Beidou is going to work nicely with her in terms of like auto attacking and whatnot. So that basically leads me to believe that Yae is going to be doing mostly normal attack DPS versus actual like charge attack DPS or something like that. No information on Baiju yet, and also point 13, the new Electro set will benefit Keqing, and that seems pretty interesting. So it might be like a burst support kind of set, or it might be like a I don't know what, honestly. I don't honestly know what kind of set it might actually be. But yeah, that's basically it for the video. A like down below is definitely very much appreciated. It really helps him out a lot if you guys want to keep up to date with all of these like new information and leaks and stuff. But anyway, it's been me, Arctic. I will see you guys in the next one. Farewell.